swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning. Could you please state your name for the record?
Good morning, Detective Lisa Johnson,
How are you employed?
Detroit Police Department,
And how long have you been employed by Detroit Police Department?
26 years.
And are you assigned to a specific unit or division?
Right now, homicide cold case.
Detective Johnson, can you pull that microphone down so everyone can hear? Thank you.
And were you working back in February of 2024 in homicide cold case?
Yes,
Okay. And did you get the chance to assist in the investigation of, at that time, missing Messiah Harris?
I did.
Okay. And I want to take you to the location of 20,000 Harper. Okay. Did your assisting in the investigation take you to that location?
Yes.
And what is that location?
Park Crest Hotel.
Okay. And do you recall when about you went there?
Sometime in February.
Okay. And it's in 2004? 2024?
Yes, ma'am.
Sorry. And when you went there, what is it that you did?
We spoke to the clerk that was on duty at the time, and we requested the ledger for January.
And did you receive anything from the ledger from January?
Yes, we did.
Okay. And what is it that you received?
There was a sign-in sheet filled out by Mr. Butts.
Okay. And did you take a copy of that sign-in sheet?
Yes.
Okay. And Your Honor, may I approach with People's Proposed Exhibit 19?
Yes.
Thank you. Handing you what's marked as People's Proposed Exhibit 19. Can you tell me, you recognize what it is I just handed you?
Yes.
And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the receipt that you received from the Park Crest Inn as it relates to Mr. Butts?
Yes, it is.
Your Honor, move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 19.
No objection.
Okay, we admit it as People's 19.
Thank you, Judge. And looking at that receipt, who is it that checked out a room?
Jarvis R. Butts.
And is there a address associated with that?
Yes, there is.
And without reading the numbers of the address, what street is that on?
Wilshire Drive.
Yes.
And is there a user account listed on line 20 for an email?
There is.
And what kind of email is that?
It's a Gmail?
And is there the actual email address listed in that section as well?
Yes.
And what's the email address for the Google or Gmail account?
JarvisButts82@gmail.com.
And going to line just a couple down on 24, is there an account listed on line 24 of the user account section?
Yes.
And what is that for?
This is an Instagram ID account.
And is there a user ID or a username associated with that Instagram account?
There is.
And can you read that?
JO back to the money.
And is that all one word?
It is.
And then is each Instagram account associated with a unique identifying number?
Yes.
And is that number, that unique identifying number listed on line 24 that you're looking at right now?
Yes. In the second column, there it says user ID.
And just read those numbers for the record.
2628540051.
And just in general, the preliminary device reports are some contacts that was in the phone listed as well. Maybe not in all of them, but just that happened in some preliminary device reports.
Not in the preliminary device report is just specific to the device information. So in other sections of the phone extraction, there would be other information.
Contacts that the person entered into the phone or communicated
Yes,
with.
yes, that would just be in different areas, not in the preliminary device information.
May I have one more?
Yes.
And just a couple questions. based on your experience performing phone extractions, is it possible to recover things that have been deleted from the phone? And is that a guarantee that you're always going to get all of the deleted content from a phone?
No.
Can you just talk about that very briefly?
So there's any number of variables that could impact the ability to get deleted information. So it could be make, model of the phone, the software version of the phone, whether or not that phone is supported on the equipment used, a number of different things, if we have the passcode or not. And the possibilities are long.
And does someone going into their phone and actually deleting like a text message or photo affect whether it's going to be recovered?
Yes, it can.
Where after someone deletes like a text message, for example, where would that go into the phone where it may or may not still be able to be recovered?
So it depends again on what the make and model of the phone is and what the version is. Because the phones change all the time with different updates, it could be in different places. Usually would go into like an unallocated space or into the trash can where the user can't see it, but it could still be in that trash can or in the deleted files on the phone that the user doesn't necessarily see, but would still be available possibly through extraction.
And that's not, is that a guarantee that if they're there, they'll be recovered, or is that trash can or unallocated space overwritten as time goes on?
It can't, well, so there are no guarantees. It can be overwritten. It may not be an area that, it may not be a device that's supported to attempt to recover deleted. So it could be any, there are never any guarantees with it. There's a lot of variables that would play into the abilities.
Thank you. I have nothing further to say. Thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Good morning, Detective Markle. Now, you say that at the time you were assigned to phone extraction?
Correct.
Have you been reassigned since then?
Yes.
Okay, where are you currently assigned?
The third precinct.
Any particular division?
The investigative unit, the precinct detective unit.
Okay. So on this particular case, your job was strictly phone extraction.
Correct.
You did no investigation on this case, correct?
Correct.
I think you testified on direct that you received several phones. Do you know how many phones you received in this case?
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay. Did anyone in particular order you to do the extraction on the phone?
Well, that was, at that time, my only, position at homicide, so to order me or to just do?
In
what
this
my-
particular case, did the OIC say here, these phones are a particular possible evidence in this case? So was there an order to extract the evidence in this phone, in this case?
I guess I'm not sure what you mean by order, like, did somebody order, like, verbally tell me to do something, or are you talking?
So you
about
weren't
search warrant
directed
order?
to search these phones? You were just your overall duties, you just searched the phones?
Well, I do the extraction, the data extraction on the phone.
Okay. Were you told a particular a suspect to look out for on this case?
No, I don't have information on the case, I do the extractions, and then return the reports to the officer in charge or the, or that team that is working on the case.
Okay. So you extracted all the information from the phone, and I think you've already testified, you used Cellbrite to download the information?
Yeah, Cellbrite was, Cellbrite was the main tool
Okay.
that was used.
And I think you already testified that there are times that you don't get all the information.
Correct,
It may not be a complete download.
correct.
You may get pieces with other parts we just don't have. Correct?
Yes, that is always possible.
Okay. You turned over all the reports, correct? And I think you testified that for the phone number ending 8719,
Yes.
you downloaded the information from that? Did you get a passcode for that?
If I could see the supplement that I did for that, I could let you know.
Now, Coach Young?
Yes.
On the 8719, there was a passcode provided.
So you did not have to, like a proper term, break into the phone.
Correct,
The passcode was provided.
yes,
Where'd you get the passcode from?
from the officer in charge when the phone was brought up.
I think you testified that you found a couple of emails, correct? And that
Yeah,
email accounts.
in that device, in the preliminary device information, it gives that basic information about the accounts or Apple ID.
It doesn't give you information on who was using the phone, I mean, using those email addresses, correct?
Correct,
So there's no way of knowing who used those accounts, correct?
correct.
And of course, there's no way to know who was using the phone when the data was created in the phone, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, I have no further questions.
I have another question.
Before you call your next witness, I want to check on the case.